I've been working on Eclipses in History. It's a podcast project. I've been working under guidance of Dr. David Sybeck from NASA Goddard. The next, please. Well, I'm a former NASA intern. In 2008, I carried out an internship at Goddard, and I carried out research on eclipses through the centuries. I wrote a big paper on several eclipse stories from ancient ages until modern ages. And I would like to highlight how important it is initiatives like mine as an independent researcher, as a private person in Brazil, for educational communities, because sometimes they need someone who has been working to disseminate astronomy science, and even without a connection to an institution, because I retired from the Brazilian government. I worked on the education ministry, and now I work in Paraná State, South Brazil, to disseminate astronomy. The next, please. Well, just a picture from NASA Goddard where I did my internship. The next, please. Here are some eclipses in history pictures. The dragon is a symbol in Chinese story, which is, they thought there was a big dragon in the sky. This dragon swallowed the sun and the moon during an eclipse. So they asked the population to make noise to scare the dragon away. And there is the picture of a couple, which means the sun and the moon were husband and wife. So they pulled the curtains of the sky to assure their privacy. So I investigated several stories. There's a story, for example, Columbus used an eclipse of the moon to manipulate natives in the island, in the Jamaican islands. So he said he had powers over the eclipse, and the natives gave him provisions for his crew. And so he used the eclipse to manipulate those people because they ignored the mechanism of eclipses. So let's go to the next. Well, I've been constructing, under guidance of Dr. David Sybeck from NASA Goddard, a series of eclipses, podcasts about eclipses. We are selecting 10 eclipse stories from different ages and interviewing people, from some scientists from NASA about the science of eclipses, and some historians from around the world. So we want to reach primarily students and teachers from the United States and from Brazil. So we want to connect these two countries through the 2023 eclipse. The next, please. Well, it is just a picture to show that we want to reach these kids from these two countries in a beautiful project and an innovative research on this podcast series, and to highlight the importance of the 2023 eclipse in these two countries, because it's going to be visible in part of northern Brazil too. The next, please. Well, as I mentioned, the target event is this year's eclipse, the 2023 annular eclipse, and to promote awareness of eclipse science and eclipses in history among students and teachers, not only from the United States and Brazil, but also from several parts of the world, because we are going to create a channel on YouTube. And in this channel, we're going to make available the podcasts in both English and in Portuguese. So it's going to reach more parts of the world in addition to Brazil and the United States. The next, please. This is just a picture of the annular eclipse we're going to have this year. So the next, please. So we want to interview from 15 to 20 experts from around the world, including some of them from NASA, and to disseminate in the YouTube channel in both English and Portuguese. So the researchers we're going to interview, they can share pictures, they can share videos in their interviews. So it's going to be a very rich and original material about these eclipses in history, highlighting not only the history but also the science. The next, please. Well, the eclipse stories ranging from ancient China to Indian myths, a trip of Columbus, as I mentioned before, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and more. The evaluation of the project will be based on watchers' feedback for continuation with more stories in a future edition, because we want to continue this project for next year, perhaps for the forthcoming eclipse of 2024. The next, please. Well, I guess that's it. If you have questions, and there is my email. Thank you.
Okay, and I believe last up is Sherilyn. And great, we have a website. Fantastic.
Yes, just the website. Thanks. Give me a second. Thank you.